Today, in the name of science, I wonder, can you beat Fall New Vegas using Dr. Klein's glove? Let's find out.
Science is an intellectual pursuit devoid of bestial emotions.
First things first, I needed the appropriate name. Say hello to Dr. Glove. Next, I scoped the face of a genius, obviously, and in no time, I was ready to select my special stats. Strength set at 10 for maximum damage. The glove is an unarmed weapon after all. Perception I left at 1. If you know my channel, you know I barely ever use this one. Endurance settled at 5. I wasn't planning on buying more than one implant, and increasing it to 9 or 10 would have made this just a regular unarmed run. Intelligence I left at 10, not just for the extra skill points, but because I was headed straight to the think tank. Agility dropped at 3. I could have increased just a bit more, but it's okay. Luck I raised to 10. From what I've heard, Dr. Klein's glove pairs surprisingly well with critical hits. So investing in luck felt like the right move, plus I needed to balance things out soon enough. Next, I selected my skills and they were unarmed as my, main skill. Melee weapons, I selected this one because I wanted a few melee perks that also helped unarmed builds. And finally, science for,
Science!
Then I chose my traits. First, I selected Logan's Loophole. It felt right since I was planning on using Mentats and other cams once I reached Big Mountain. Plus, I had a strong feeling I wouldn't get close to level 30 anyway. My second trait was Heavy-Handed, to increase the damage of my unarmed attacks at the cost of the critical hit damage. This was also one of the main reasons I raised luck to 10. I wanted to see if I could balance things out with high critical chance, even with the penalty of the perk. Okie dokie. Once I was done with all that and the doctor kicked me out of his place, the first thing I did, like always, was to drop all the weapons and unnecessary items that came with DLC. I kept only the healing items. Now, Dr. Klein's glove. It can be found at a place called Higgs Village, in Big Mountain. But in order to get it, I'd need to restart and finish the Old World Blues DLC, which is fine, really. Here's the tricky part though. The DLC recommends you start at level 15 plus. Sure, I could have just used console commands to boost myself up to level 15 and skip all the waiting. Personally, I like to do these runs as if I were playing on console, and if I were, I wouldn't be able to boost my level like that anyway. Alright, when I got to the Mojave drive-in, I ran into a problem. For some reason, I couldn't start the DLC right away. The game kept saying I was in combat. I mean, sure, the combat music was playing, but I had no idea what was going on. Probably Red Scorpion stuck behind a rock somewhere. When I finally managed to start it, you can see this DLC wants you to be level 15 plus, but you can start at level 1, it's fine really. Welcome to Old World Blues, the home of science. Naturally, I headed straight to the think tank to meet my fellow scientists, which, let's be real, is by far the worst part of this DLC. I love it. It's funny. It's my second favorite DLC. But my word, listen to these guys for nearly half an hour. It's always boring. Oh, they also casually mentioned I was a lobotomite. Okay, and that I couldn't leave Big Mountain without my brain, which one of them stole. Also, they removed my heart, spine, and brain. And frankly, only 2 of those are necessities. As soon as I finished talking to the think tank, I leveled up, just from completing the rival quest and a few speed checks. At level 2, I dumped every single point into unarmed, boosting it to 47, and picked the Swift Runner perk for more overall XP. After that, I walked around the place, chatting with the scientists and grabbing whatever I could find. Now, the only scientist whose quest I planned to complete was Boros. Oh, Boros? Since his mission revolves around his dog, Gabe, which is tied into the main story of the DLC anyway. As for the others, well, they mostly needed speed checks, and I wasn't about to spend points just to do their quest. Another reason I stuck with Boros' quest, I really enjoy the way he talks. It's funny, like, he shall not be destroyed. That kind of thing, I love it. Also, just talking to the scientists and accidentally accepting their quest gave me enough XP to level up again. So, at level 3, no surprise, I put all my points into unarmed. Next, I went to the sink, where I met my butler. He told me I should go looking for the odd AIs from the sink. Not really mandatory, but I'd collect them if I happen to stumble across them. Alright, with introductions and lobotomites out of the way, it was finally time to make my way to Higgs village. The path there was surprisingly safe. Higgs village is where the think tank brains used to live, before they became floating egos with electrical mouths and those ejaculating things they do. I also noticed it kinda resembles Tranquility Lane, which is pretty cool. Dr. Klein's glove is inside the Klein's old house, House 101. Each house reflects the Doctor's personalities. His house is super fancy and neat, very superior for someone like him. The glove is found on the second floor, inside his office, right next to a sink project. It's tucked on the lower part of the bookshelf. The first thing I noticed when I looked at the glove was that the DPS was decent. Actually, more than decent. With the critical hit weaken effect and my current stats, it looked like a solid weapon. Visually, the glove is cool looking. A nice shade of blue with GRK written on it, making it stand out from the other scientist's glove. Next, I didn't do much around the village. I just wandered around looking for supplies. I mostly found pre-war money, caps, sunset sarsaparilla, and inside Mobius' house, mentats. Like, a lot of mentats. I also picked up Nuka-Cola cards and grabbed Gabe's bow for Boros. As soon as I left, I got the chance to test my glove. And honestly, ignoring the damage I was taking from the lobotomites, Dr. Klein's glove was strong. Especially in VATS, the enemies dropped like paper. And at that point, I was still at level 3. All I'd done was increase unarmed, but I guess high luck and heavy-handed were working surprisingly well together. I just have to keep an eye out for my health, and use team packs whenever things got dicey. After testing my theories on the lobotomites, I leveled up again, level 4. I raised unarmed to 70, tossed a couple extra points into melee weapons, and picked the educator perk for a few extra points every level up. With everything ready, I headed to the X2 antenna array to make some progress. Up to that point, even the protectrons were weak. Easy pickings for Dr. Glove. I also stumbled across another sync project, which I completely forgot existed, by the way. Oh, and I found out you can use regular gloves to repair Dr. Klein's glove. Every little bit helps. After destroying more protectrons, I finally grabbed the antenna, which apparently can be used as a melee weapon. I never tried it, but it looks strong. Then came a surprise. Robo Scorpions are strong, tougher than anything I'd faced so far. Since I was in the neighborhood, I dropped by the Cuckoo's Nest to visit my lobotomite cousins. And let me tell you, not even once, not even for a second, did I doubt the power of my glove. Not even once, and that's exactly why I died. Turns out the glove is strong, but it's even better when used with VATs, especially against enemies who can block attacks. Without that, it's like trying to uppercut a brick wall, at least for that moment. After killing more lobotomites, I hit level 5. I raised unarmed to 81 and bumped melee weapons to 55. I also ended a few of their weird toaster rituals and grabbed another sync project. Test subject 1 was down and I figured I could use a little exploration therapy. So I wandered around Big Mountain, punching things. I even ran into Ultimo Bot. Tough, yes, but surprisingly weak. Next up, I entered the Z38 Research Center, where I found holograms, similar to those in Sierra Madre. I grabbed the Rad Accelerator, because I wanted to look smart with that halo above my head. After that, I went to the X13 Research Facility, trying to collect armor parts and complete the stealth armor test, which is part of the main quest. But for the life of me, I couldn't get past those robots. I tried so many times, and I failed many times. My stealth was around 30, I think, and I didn't have any stealth boys. But hey, that shouldn't have stopped me, right? Well, it did. I got stressed, and I left to do something better.
I am online once again! Tremble, world, before my electric heating coil of doom!
The X8 facility was next on my list, aka the School of Horrors. Before starting the project, I dealt with one Mr. Otherly, then messed around with the splicer machine to torment someone who may or may not have been an innocent. Hey, science doesn't judge. I wrecked more orderlies and hit level 6. Raised unarmed to 95 and bumped science to 45. And I also grabbed the Bloody Mass perk for that sweet plus 5% damage boost. Finally, I officially started the School of Horrors. This place was built by Boros, modeled after the classic
American High AHS.
where he was once tormented for being, according to him, smart. Now he's the supreme ruler, entitled himself Dr. Principal Boros. The objective is simple: record 3 documents from students: Betsy Bright, Richie Marcus, and Cherry O'Bannon, who honestly I don't remember at all. I don't think he ever mentioned her. Down there, the threats were no joke: a few turrets, pretty weak, and cyber dogs, constantly hitting me with super slam attacks. And that was not fun. It was tough because of the cyber dogs, I won't lie, but doable. I even hit level 7. I maxed out unarmed, I raised science to 50, and I realized I could use Stimpaks more efficiently, so I increased medicine a bit. Quest complete. I could have gone back to finish the rest of the School of Horrors, but instead I did what I do best. I beat up more lobotomites. It's therapeutical. Then it was time to face Gabe, Boros' beloved pet. Now, seeing that thing? Intimidating. I genuinely thought it might kill me. So to make sure everything was just right, I used a couple of cams to prepare. And honestly, I don't know if it was the drugs, my stats, my perks, but Gabe died pretty fast. Granted, I did in VATS, because outside VATS he was bouncing me around like a chew toy. Before leaving the area, I dug up the sonic emitter buried nearby. I had to use a shovel I'd found earlier. And of course, Dr. Mobius sent more robo-scorpions after me. I did kill some, mind you, but yeah, I mostly ran. After resting back at the dome, I hit level 8. I raised science to 70, speech to 10, and grabbed the toughness perk. I was handy for unarmed builds. I stocked up on Stimpaks and finally talked to Dr. Boros to complete his quest. Technically, I didn't have enough speech, and I did kill Gabe, but hey, it was completed nonetheless. Okay, back to the stealth section, shall we? What the hell was going on? I swear, I don't remember failing so many times. I needed to punch something, okay? I just. So, that's what I did. I walked around doing absolutely nothing, just cooling off and wondering what kind of AI trauma was taunting me. Uh, what's up? How are you doing? Hey, stop it! One bad montage of things dying later. Level 9 unlocked. I increased science to 80, speed to 17, and let's try this again. This time I played smarter, not harder. Every time I passed by a robot, I saved the game. If they spotted me, reload, rinse, repeat. Eventually, it worked. I got the files. I could finally leave that stupid place. And the main quest for Old World Blues was now unlocked. Then I leveled up again, on pure Robo Rage energy from killing more Robo Scorpions. I raised science to 94, speed to 20, and I picked the Super Slam perk, which is fantastic for unarmed builds. Back at the think tank, I handed over the device I'd gathered to Dr. Klein. Finally gained access to the Forbidden Zone. Granted, he barely seemed to know how or what he was doing. Thankfully, I was the scientist. So, to the Forbidden Zone we go. I'm not fighting all that. My first attempt against the giant Robo Scorpion was rough. A couple of protections backed me up, but my glove's condition was halfway down, and I definitely noticed the drop in damage output. Suffice it to say, I got obliterated. Then it hit me. If I was going to destroy this thing, I'd need reinforcements. So I activated a few challengerons and the turrets upstairs. Only those, since I didn't have the sonic emitter to open the other doors. The second attempt went much better. The Robo Scorpions focused on the turrets, which gave me openings to land some solid hits. It still took a while and half of my stim packs, but it was officially destroyed. At level 11, I maxed out science and tossed the rest into speech. Finally, Dr. Mobius' lair. Naturally, the first thing I did was raid the place for supplies, and then I found his stash of mentats. Which got me thinking, can you beat Fallout New Vegas as a mentats trader? Perhaps, in another video. Then I met Dr. Mobius. Surprisingly, he was caring. Turns out he was the one making sure the think tank never left Big Mountain. Basically, protecting the Mojave from their absurd experiments. And honestly, that was kinda noble of him. Well, time to die. And just like that, I killed Dr. Mobius with the glove of his former colleague. Science is messy. Since I needed a brain to leave Big Mountain, this in the stealth section already proved I didn't have one in real life, I had no choice but to play Freud with my own brain. Until I convinced it to come home. Back at the think tank, I was done with those guys. Maybe if I'd completed their quests or not killed Mobius, I could have convinced them to stay inside and never bother the Mojave. But nah, I just killed all of them. That's it. That's the end of Old World Blues. Hey, thanks, another level. At level 12, I dumped all the points into speech and grabbed the confirmed bachelor perk for bonus damage against males. Starting the Old World Blues at level 1, turns out it didn't make a difference. The whole DLC was still surprisingly easy and I was playing on normal difficulty. Back in the Mojave, the first thing I did to test my newfound powers was to take out Vulpes and the gang. And let me tell you, it feels so good to be overpowered. Next, I sprinted back across the desert to take care of a few loose ends. I went to Hidden Valley to truly see how strong Dr. Klein's glove was. I grabbed the holotape and entered the Brotherhood bunker. With the help of a few cams, I began my assault. Against most Brotherhood soldiers, especially paladins, the damage was decent, especially considering the glove's condition was only halfway, and I wasn't even using VATs. But the moment I activated VAT, everything changed. The damage spiked significantly. Overall, the Brotherhood is a solid 7 out of 10. Robust Corpers are tougher. Honestly, I did the Brotherhood a favor by destroying their bunker before they hurt themselves with their own tech. All science will be mine, after all. Let's move on. My next stop was anywhere I could complete a quest, so I took the path through Black Mountain. My glove was strong, sure, but I was about to test it on Death Claws. It's not that strong. Probably. Once I reached Boulder City, I was told that the Great Khans had taken over the place, so I told the NCR that I'd handle the situation. What he didn't know was that my method involved eliminating every Great Khan in sight. Jessup was the only one who put up a fight. Oh hey, level 13. This time, I started putting points into melee weapons, got it up to 65 and raised speed to 55. With that quest wrapped up, I realized I needed to do something about my glove's condition. So I grabbed a snow globe at Hoover Dam, then I fast traveled to the closest spot near Mojave outpost. And on my way, Legion assassins ambushed me. Why? I have no idea. I only killed Vulpes. I mean, I've done far worse in other runs, and they didn't send a freaking hit squad. Why would they do it now? Anyway, once I made it to the outpost, I talked to Ranger Ghost and instantly got XP by reporting what happened to Nipton. Then, I tried to talk to Major Knight, who looked like my best bet for repairs. Turns out his repair skill was 27, and he wanted to charge me nearly 2,000 caps to fix my glove. There was like halfway broken. Yeah, no thanks. So I left and sold everything I had to the merchant outside to gather more caps. From there, I fast traveled to Good Springs, I grabbed the snow globe, and then I zipped back to Big Mountain. At the sink, the repair was over 4,000 caps, but the repair skill was 100. That seemed worth it, not gonna lie. I grabbed everything I could from inside the think tank, plus some junk I'd stashed in the safe, sold it all, and finally had enough caps to repair the glove properly. Back in the Mojave, I was ready to make some real progress. I headed straight to Freeside, and the only thing I did there was to grab the snow globe at the fort. I had no reason to do the King's Quest this time, and with my science skill maxed out, I convinced Securitron to let me pass. Then, I finally met the boss man himself. And I'd already made up my mind. I was going to side with Mr. House today. It just felt right. Siding with House after wiping out all the scientists in Big Mountain, especially Dr. O, made this feel natural. You know what I mean? Since Benny had the platinum chip, Mr. House sent me to go take care of him. But first, I sold all my snow globes because what is science without money? Then I headed to the tops, and...
Buddy, you just made the biggest mistake of your life.
Biggest mistake of my life? Buddy, they removed my heart, spine, and brain. I've killed a bunch of mad scientists. I have been punching my way across the entire Mojave with a glorified oven mitt, and... hear me out now, and I prayed to a freaking toaster. Okay. So yeah, I've definitely made worse mistakes. Oh yeah, and I also killed all the chairmen. Benny never saw it coming. Therapeutical. Once I left the tops, Alerio handed me the mark of Caesar and I hit level 14. I bumped melee weapons to 70, speed to 67, and I picked the Precision Strike perk for some extra glove penetration. Then I returned to the Lucky 38. I handed off the platinum chip to Mr. House and got submitted to his grand video presentation. Dr. Mobs was more impressive. Next, House told me he needed help securing the fort, since his forces were stationed there. And hooray! I hit level 15! My word, how easy it is to get levels. I think I rarely make it this far in the level scale. At that point, I just poured all my points to speech and call it a day. But before heading to the fort, I made a quick stop at the New Vegas clinic to grab a sub-armor implant. No brain, no spine, no heart, might as well have reinforced skin. My first attempt heading to Cottonwood Cove was complicated, not because of the geckos that ambushed me and nearly shredded me, but because I'd been neglecting my radiation levels. They cornered me, my red count shot up, and yep, I died of radiation. Not exactly the end I was expecting, really. Second try, I had the high ground. I lured them out, got my revenge, and made it to Cottonwood Cove in one piece. From there, it was smooth sailing. I took the boat and went to meet Caesar. Now, here's the wild part. Caesar sends an absolute stranger down into house-controlled fort to destroy his enemies. Alone. No guards, no supervision. Honestly, I'm surprised nobody's rebelled. That's not leadership, that's trust, I guess? Why are they following this guy? Inside the fort, I greeted Mr. House, then I used my science skill to shut down the security system, and then I upgraded the challengerons. Before heading back to the Lucky 38, I stopped by Caesar's tent. Technically, he gave me a quest, and as I said, he doesn't check your work, so yeah, it's free XP either way. I also swung by the clinic to deal with my radiation condition. Then I did the unexpected. I offered Emily Orto before she ever asked me for help. That's right, I flipped the tables, smart move, absolutely. I bugged the system, then I returned for the sad news, which I politely ignore. But hey, level 16 unlocked. I maxed out speech, dumped the rest into melee weapons, and I picked the Fight the Power perk, because it's time to take down some Legion soldiers with science. Mr. House wasn't impressed with my performance, but as usual, he wanted more. So he tasked me with recruiting the boomers. On my way to Nellis, I wasn't sure whether I should recruit them, but when in doubt, help out. So I helped Pearl set through a long, boring story. I killed a bunch of ants, and I fast traveled back to Helios 1 to grab some solar rays to fix the ones back at Nellis. Oh, and I also stopped by their dining hall, where I found the boomer merchant selling weapon repair kits, and of course, I grabbed some to keep my glove in good condition. Finally, I was tasked with retrieving the ancient bomber from Lake Mead. Okay. Oh god. So, how's your day going? Doing anything good? Mine? Oh, just peachy. At level 17, I raised medicine to 35 and made weapons to 83. Pearl officially pledged people to become lobotomites. Well, maybe not exactly, but they didn't read the terms. Bossman was pleased, but of course not satisfied. Typical. Mr. Hall's next task: go across the street and deal with the Omertas. As usual, the Omeras were simple to handle. Swipe Kachina's diary, confront Han, head to the basement, and use speech to convince Troik to deploy Thermite himself. That's being smart. Oh, that little weasel got caught in the act. Ugh. And that left Kachino to handle the bosses. But of course, I can't kill anyone without my glove, so I had no choice but to let Kachino do the killing. First try, Kachino died. And since I need my glove, That meant reload. Second try, I got caught stealing Nero's bullets. Kachin just stood there like a statue. Reload. Third try, success! I stole Nero's ammo and Kachino finally took out the bosses. The next mission was to destroy the Brotherhood of Steel, but I'd already done that. All science will be mine. Normally the next quest is supposed to have me protect the president, but for some reason the NCR hated me. No clue why. I even killed the Great Khans and freed their hostages. But apparently that didn't count. So Mr. House rerouted me to the El Dorado substation. Quick work. With that done, I was finally ready for the final mission, the Battle of Hoover Dam. And oh boy, punching through an army of Legion soldiers in scientist scrubs with a glove forged in madness, it feels good. I was at a point where even outside VATS, my hits were brutal. Sure, I was soaking up damage, but I was dealing, twice that. I installed Bossman's operating system, then I set the power to the fort, and do you know what happiness is? Happiness is watch the Praetorian Guards, who I absolutely hate, drop like flies. It was satisfying, in ways science can't measure. Once they were down, I leveled up one final time. I hit level 18. I bumped medicine to 45, melee to 90, and I chose the Unstoppable Force as my last perk. Now, the Lecter was there, and since he doesn't play fair, I decided to test just how strong I'd really become. I used speech to convince him to fight me 1-on-1. Gotta admit, the Securitron helped. But landing the final blows, that was all thanks to my Super Slam perk. I've never taken down the leg that fast before. Just look at him, powerless. I was running high in that moment. So high, in fact, that I threw caution to the wind and decided to kill General Oliver and his soldiers. Mr. House had a few final words, and just like that, I finished Fallout New Vegas using only Dr. Klein's glove. Well, that was fun. I didn't expect much from the glove when I first researched it, but it surprised me in the best way. I actually enjoyed myself far more than I thought I would. I genuinely recommend giving it a try. If you like the video, please leave a like, a comment, and subscribe. I'm Laniustron. Until next time.
You can go now. That's your cue.
I can make sure it not only runs, but runs on time. Always bothered me, the imprecision. The General's accident